Hey guys, this is Miss Bridges. I wanted to talk to you about getting ready for your first foods lab. You've already started looking at your recipes, so you kind of know what you need. You've already started doing your market order. But the one thing we really haven't talked about is time. We have told you that there needs to be a limit on the amount of time that you need to plan to be in the kitchen in terms of having it ready for us to eat. This is what you call a timetable sheet. This activity is called a Do you have the time sheet. Now this is the instruction sheet that the teachers primarily use, but I pulled this out of the curriculum just to kind of show you how a timetable is set up, and we're going to walk through this together. By now, Miss Guller should have given each one of you a copy of the sheet that looks like this. What we're going to do is to walk through what a timetable is. Now, granted, you're not going to do this every day when you go home and you decide you want a grilled cheese sandwich. This is just an idea. This is just to show you how to construct a timetable. So it's 3 o'clock, and right now you're thinking about, I am so hungry. I think I'm going to fix me a grilled cheese sandwich when I get home. Well, now, how long is it going to take me to fix a grilled cheese sandwich? Okay, I leave here at school. I get home about 3:15, 3:20. I want to be able to eat my grilled cheese sandwich at 3:30. So what's the latest I could possibly start and still be able to eat my grilled cheese sandwich at 3:30? So whenever you look at do you have the time, or whenever you're doing a timetable, you need to begin with the end in mind. That's down here. What time do I want to sit down and eat? So when we're preparing the timetable for our foods lab, you need to think, what time do I need to be able to sit down and eat, or to have my food ready so that I can explain it to the rest of the class and then have the rest of the class do their tasting. So this time right down here will be very, very, very important. What time do I want to be finished? So we've decided that we want to eat our grilled cheese sandwich at 3:30. So let's back it out. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to get ready to prepare for my grilled cheese sandwich? Well, I have to get out my ingredients. My ingredients are bread, cheese, and butter. Well, how long is it going to take me to get my ingredients out? Well, about 2 minutes. So I have 2 minutes there. Then how long is it going to take me to get out my equipment? You're going to need a skillet and you're going to need a spatula. So that's probably going to take you about another minute. So here we have 3 minutes already. Then I've got to allow time for my skillet to preheat. This is where I am right now. Well, that's going to take about a minute. Then I've got to butter my bread slices. Then I've got to put it in the skillet, put my cheese on it. So how long is all that going to take? Well, it's probably going to take me about a minute to cook my sandwich. About, I don't know, about a minute probably to put my cheese on my bread. About 30 seconds at most to put my bread in the skillet. So I'm adding all of this time up and I'm backing it up. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. I should probably plan to get started around 3:23. Now you're thinking, you said 8 minutes and that's just 7. Right, but I want you to look at something right here. This is what you call dovetailing. Here you are, you're preheating your skillet right here. It's going to take about a minute for your skillet to preheat. But you notice here that the time for buttering your bread slices and preheating your skillet is the same. While you're waiting on your skillet to preheat, you can go ahead and butter your bread slices. You can get your things ready to go into the skillet. You don't have to sit there and watch your skillet heat up. So this is a good example of dovetailing. I'm going to butter my bread slices while I preheat my skillet, and that's going to save me about a minute. So I'm going to get to eat a minute earlier, or I can wait a minute later. So let's just walk through this one by one. First step, get out my bread, my cheese, my butter, my ingredients. It's going to take me about 2 minutes. I'm going to put this on a nice clean work surface. We'll start about 3:23. About 3:25, I'll be able to get my skillet out and to set it out. Then after I get my skillet out, I'm going to turn my stove on. and I'm going to let my skillet preheat for a minute, so I'm up to 326. While my skillet is preheating, I'm going to butter my bread slices. It's going to take about 30 seconds, so I'm still within that minute that my skillet is preheating. Then after my skillet preheats at 327, I can go ahead and put my bread in the skillet. I'm going to put it in the skillet for about 30 seconds. It's going to take me about 30 seconds to cook it, and to make sure that that side gets good and brown. So that brings me up to 327. Then I'm going to place the cheese on both of the bread slices. That's going to be about another 30 seconds. Here I'm still allowing it to cook, so still at 327. That's another example of dovetailing. Place the second slice of bread on top of the cheese slice. So I've got that one piece of bread, I've got my cheese. Now I've taken my other piece of bread and put it on in there. The one side of the bread has been cooking for a total of about a minute now, by the time you add all of this up. I brown the second side of my sandwich, takes about a minute, so I'm up to 329. I take it out, I slice it, and I serve it. Takes me about a minute to do that, and here I am. I'm eating my sandwich on time at 3:30, just like I'd planned. So that's how you do a timetable. Now, what you're going to do as a way of practice is you're going to think about something that you might have eaten yesterday. Maybe you ate it for breakfast, but a snack or a meal that you've eaten, and you're going to break it down. What time did you eat, and how long did it take you to get ready? What time did it take you to prepare? How long did it take you to cook? What was the total time? What time did you start? What time did you end? So use this one, the one that we just went over, as an example, and then you complete this one. Now, the next thing that you need to be aware of is that you will actually have to do a timetable sheet for your lab. You are going to write down each task in your pre-preparation. That's what we call prep. You're going to write down the task, who you assigned it to do, how long it's going to take, is there any cooking that you need to do in advance. Sometimes you have to pre-cook certain things. And then you're going to total up your time. Keep in mind, you're looking down here at the end. What time do I want to be able to sit down and eat? Then I'm going to look at the task involved in cooking, in the actual preparation of the food. This is pre-preparation. This is getting everything ready. This is actually putting it together and cooking it, getting it ready to consume. You're going to break down your tasks. Then you're going to assign your group members to it. How long is it going to take to do this? What kind of cooking is involved, and how long is it going to take? What's my total time? What time will I be starting? Keep in mind that you want to start eating at whatever time I tell you right here, okay? And that's going to vary for the different groups, okay? Now, you will have to turn this in. I'm going to give each group a folder, and you're going to put all of your papers in it, and you're going to turn it in at the end of the lab. This will be your grade, and remember I told you this is going to count as a test grade. This is what you call project-based learning. This is a project, and this is very much a part of this curriculum, is being able to get hands-on in the kitchen. So the next question that should be on your lips is, well, how do I know what kind of grade I'm going to get? Well, I'm so glad that you asked, because right here I have for you a rubric that actually shows you how you're going to be evaluated. If you do everything that you're supposed to do, if you list your task with your start times, that all of your ingredients are in the lab with pre-preparation done before the start of the lab, you have your table, or you have everything set up with your utensils, you are actually going to be in this category. But if they weren't in the lab and you weren't ready, you're going to be down here in this category. List the preparation tasks for the recipe, same thing. List the cooking times, same thing. List the total time for preparation and cooking, same thing. List the start of each task, same. No start times, all start times. The total possible points you can get right here will be 10. Okay? So if everything is perfect, you're going to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. As you go down, if you are not consistent in completing and getting your ingredients out, your grade is going to go down. If you get down here into the 7 and 6 needs improvement, the highest you can get is a 70. That's barely passing. Excuse me. Okay, getting back to the rubric. Sorry for that interruption. Make sure that you follow all of the guidelines here on this rubric and you'll get a really good score. If you are totally disorganized, if you don't have your start times or they're not calculated correctly and not listed correctly on the timetable, then you're going to have some issues. My goal is for you guys to do a really bang up job here and to have a good time doing it, but also to see the importance and the seriousness of planning in advance. So, with that being said, I want you to get into your groups and I want you to begin now looking at what it's going to take for you to get ready to pull this off. And everything to be on time, for all of us to have time to enjoy the experience, to enjoy each other's food, and to get our cleanup done, not be rushed, and to get to our next class on time. So if you have any questions, I'm sure Miss Guller will be glad to answer those for you.